And a Monday night. No, sorry, that's too much Netflix for me. You are, of course, tuned in once again to the Third and Long Podcast Thursday night edition. My name is the returning incomparable Shane Harris. Above me is the OG of the podcast, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson. To my left, the teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Philip Perrins. And the top corner is our beautiful, beautiful baby Hope. Gentlemen, I'll start, as I always do, one at a time. Mr. P, I haven't spoke to you since last Thursday. What's going on?
Mate, I'm still in agony from my football injury from Monday, and it's only now just starting to not hurt every time I move my body. But in our game the weekend, we played Luton, and we got absolutely battered, and we lost 4-0. And it was deep into the second half, and I saved this shot. And player came in for a rebound, and instead they were just a dirty team. Luton were. Instead of like going into it, he literally slid in double kneed into my chest, and I thought he winded me, but I actually couldn't breathe. And then like Monday morning, I'm just like bruised all this side, and I think I've like bruised a rib or cracked a rib, but like I've just been taking like a few painkillers to try and get me through the day. But yeah, it's starting to heal up now, and I'm feeling like I'm not in utterly an obscene amount of pain. But yeah. It's been all right, other than the 49ers.
And with the size of lad you are, the tablets you take are the size of actual tablets. Baby, how have you been last week, my handsome boy? What's going on?
I mean, you call yourself the incomparable St. Harris. You weren't really incomparable on Monday because you didn't show up.
Right, let me liken this to something else that happened. Let me just let the little fans in on how the cake is baked. If you remember a couple of seasons ago, go on, I'm going to do it. Lamar Jackson took a break against the Browns, came back and saved the game because he had stomach cramps. Yeah, well, I'm back to save the game because I had stomach cramps. I'm not going to lie. Oh my God!
I would say the game wouldn't need saving.
Well, you know what I mean.
I mean, he thinks he needs to come on and save the podcast, does he?
Apparently so. I mean, he doesn't know what I've got planned for him at Wembley yet, or Tottenham yet.
Whoa, no, what? I like that.
You will find out. I will find out when I find out.
So what's been going on, but it seems like I haven't spoke to you since last Thursday either. What's going on?
I just about got my throat back from Friday night, and I've just about dried out from the golf on Sunday. Oh yeah, good. Mate.
Yeah, we group chat. You had a really good birthday weekend. Happy days. I'm so happy that you had a great time. So where are we starting? New
No, we go through week 3 first, mate. Don't we? We do week 3, and we'll recap on the Jags getting absolutely obliterated by the Bills. I think they've just about given the Jags and the Bengals and Commanders having a game in history. What a game that one was. Where would you like to start, gentlemen?
Josh Allen.
Go on then. MVP. Let's go with Josh Allen and the Jags absolutely caning them.
Josh Allen, have you noticed that since Sean McDermott used 9/11 to motivate his players, I don't think the Bills have lost in the regular season.
Really? When did he do that?
Yeah.
It was kind of in the middle of last season, before they went on that 6-game winning streak.
I mean, Josh Allen is playing out of his skin at the moment. You would have thought with that wide receiving core that, oh my God, they would capitulate. But he is probably playing the best football I've seen this guy play at the moment. He is absolutely outstanding.
James Cook, too. He's having a great season.
Mr. Pete?
Help us, Joshie One Kenobi. You're our only hope from stopping the Chiefs three-peating.
I just hope someone stops him.
Goodbye, Joe Cool. Joe Cool is not up to scratch anymore. He is like the equivalent to Ahsoka. We are now waiting for Joshie One Kenobi to take on the Chiefs and just humble them. He is generally, the Bills look to be probably the best team in the AFC at the moment.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be 3-0. I really wasn't. I mean, they're playing so much better than, unfortunately, I thought they were going to play. I mean, they were 34 points to 3 up at halftime, and they
I
took
mean,
yes,
3-0 soon to be 4-0.
Yeah.
quite
I mean, it's
possibly.
only the
Wait.
Ravens this week.
I had to think then. Who they playing? You cheeky. Sorry, I'm learning. I'm trying my best.
I'm sorry, it's a 3-0 Bills versus a 1-2 Ravens team that can't even beat the Raiders.
Or the Cowboys.
Yeah, we need the Cowboys.
Only just. Right. Let's flip this around. What the hell is on with the Jaguars around? They haven't won in 8 games. They've not won a game since Thanksgiving. In fact, they've capitulated pretty much. They were 8-3 at one point.
Dug out. Dug out.
Do you reckon
No.
Zach Peterson.
Why do you think? Why are you saying dug out?
Because at least some of it has to fall on the head coach.
Yeah,
like,
but why is it not the GM who's signed the players as well? I mean, he's the one who gave Trevor Lawrence that $200+ million deal,
because
and that guy looks like he's weighed down more than just his hair.
Okay, so their roster is fairly talented. They have good players. They have Trevor Lawrence. They have Christian Kirk. They have Evan Ingram. They have Travis Etienne. These are all good players.
Yeah.
So and on the defense, they have Josh Hines-Allen. They have Trayvon Walker. They have talented players on that roster. So therefore, I don't think you can really blame the GM. I mean, I have opinions on the GM. I'm sure Mr. Parent also has opinions on the GM because of what happened in San Francisco with the same guy.
Trent Baalke.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember his name. But Doug Peterson is the coach of this team with talented players. He's supposed to be a so-called quarterback whisperer, and Trevor Lawrence is playing like he's Bryce Young's brother.
I want to say something. I wish they'd stop the phrase quarterback whisperer. There's no such bloody thing as a quarterback whisperer. It's all about getting the players to play their best, like people manager. That is the best way to get the play out of players. I'll come to you in a second, Shane.
No worries, bud.
But what has changed? This team went to the playoffs in 22. They won their division. What was it 10-7 at the time? And they won their division.
What's changed is the Texans got good.
Yeah.
Texans got good, but the core of that Jags team is exactly the same as it was in 22. Shano, I'll go to you after this.
Yeah, I just let's look at their run of fixtures, right? First 3 games of the season, they lost to Miami with Tua by 3 points, 2017. I mean, they lost to the Browns by 5 points, and I mean, the Browns with that defense and Deshaun Watson on his day is a lot more than just capable. And then they got hammered by the Bills, who, as Bill so rightly said, are probably the best team in the AFC. The acid test will come Sunday now against the Texans in Houston, which Texans team is going to show up, I mean, I reckon the Jags are going to be 0-4, and their season might as well be over before it begins. But yeah, like I said, the acid test will be seen in Houston this Sunday.
Definitely. Mr. P.
Is it possibly a culmination of lots of different things? Pearson got found out in Philadelphia, and I mean, as quick as he won the Super Bowl, he was then released. So maybe he might be one of these coaches that needs a bump, and then once that bump has kind of like set its tone in an organization, the team tends to suffer. We see this quite a lot with our football as well, where certain new managers have that new management bounce. I also think that attitude reflects leadership. I don't think the Khans are particularly good owners. Trent Baalke is not a good GM. And I think thirdly, you've got a lot of these key players in that Jacksonville team that have gotten paid. And I'm not against players getting paid because I know this almost seems like a recurring theme when we talk about this. But how many times in the last 18 months, 2 years, have we seen big name players get paid and then stop playing at that high level?
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe, let's say, Lamar,
Patrick.
Oh God, Patrick. But then Patrick took a team-friendly deal. But like we look at like other players around the league, not just the quarterback, but also defensive positions, wide receiver positions, where they get that fat paycheck and then they stop performing at that level. I think that's going to be a big thing as well because the NFL average career is not very long. So once you get that bag, you want to keep going at a level where you can still get paid, but not get injured and have your career cut short. I know it's quite waffling for me, but I think it's a lot of reasons. But I think the getting paid aspect of it is a huge one.
It's true. Ollie, finally, before we go on to the Commanders Bengals,
just two things. First off, I think Shane is giving way too much credit to the Browns, saying that they're a good team. Their defense is a shell of what it was last season, and Deshaun Watson is playing worse than Bryce Young in some metrics.
Okay, so what happened then? What happened? Why did the Jags fall apart against them? Come on.
Because the Jags aren't a good team, because they have a poor coach. And Jack has said Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer. Apparently, Sean Payton is also a quarterback whisperer. But I'm with Ollie. Nobody is a quarterback whisperer. But the reason the Jags lost to the Browns is because they're both bad teams. The Jags are just worse at the moment. And the Browns have a decent-ish, occasionally, coach.
True. So let's go to the game that kicked off a little bit later on Monday night, which is the Commanders versus the Bengals, which something happened for the first time since 1940. So the first time in the Super Bowl era where there was no punts and no turnovers in the game, which was impressive. But oh my God, Jaden Daniels, welcome to the NFL, my friend. What a game he had. He was, as it says on ESPN here, flawless.
To be fair, both of the QBs pulled out in that game because Burrows also had a good game. Burrows was over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns?
324, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, Jaden Daniels was just 290, 3 touchdowns and 1 on the ground. But the one play that impressed me the most was the touchdown pass to Scary Terry. He was 0.1 of a second away from being levered, and he still managed to drop it in the bucket, an absolute dime. Are we going to see another situation where the QB taken second overall is better than the QB taken number 1 overall? Or is it just a case of situational where they've landed?
No, because Chicago was a better situation than Washington.
Yeah,
Okay.
but also, what's he done?
What did you say?
So you're saying Daniels is the better QB then?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I also think if you look at the top 10, the best player at the moment is Malik Nabers.
100%.
And I think we'll see that again tonight.
Yeah. We'll get around to that game.
Jack's come in saying Caleb Williams is a bust. I think it's a bit early to call him a bust. I think we can start potentially calling Trevor Lawrence a bust. But I think it's a bit early after 3 games to call Caleb Williams a bust.
I don't think we can call Trevor Lawrence a bust because he has taken the team to the playoffs.
But they lost the playoffs in the first round.
But then by that means Blake Bortles is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence because he took the Jacksonville Jaguars to the AFC Championship game.
And if it wasn't for a brilliant play by Stephen Gilmore, they would have won it.
Yeah, and they would be AFC champions and then Super Bowl contenders. But by that logic, I do agree. I don't think Trevor Lawrence will go down as a bust. I think he will just go down as an average career, an average player,
mid quarterback.
Yeah, I think he'll ride out this Jacksonville wave. He'll get another contract as well because Jacksonville are Jacksonville, and he'll end up like a Rivers, a Matt Ryan type career. I could see that.
Yeah, remember Matt Ryan's won MVP.
He has won MVP. You're right. Maybe a Philip Rivers.
No, Philip Rivers. Yeah, Shano.
I think I speak for the AFC North conglomerate. Well, I just laugh at the Bengals at the moment. They were my pick to win the AFC North at the beginning of the season, but they've just been awful. I mean, Joe Burrow is my QB2 for my fantasy team, behind you-know-who, brother. I can't believe I don't know what's going on with the Bengals at the minute. They've been awful. They play us fairly shortly, and I think that should be an easy win. But like you've all said, that game on Monday night had no right to be as good and as entertaining as it was. And to quote my old buddy, Mr. P, I think Jaden Daniels is him.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
was.
I think I picked Joe Burrows to win MVP in our predictions.
Yeah, I think you did. I'll have to go back and because I got them all written down somewhere. You know, I think this is the best you've seen of the Bengals this season. But Commanders just got everything right, and Jalen Daniels had everything right. I mean, he was perfect. There's a video going around. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where he's literally gone to his coach. There was 4th down, and he goes, "No, let's go for it. Let's go for it." He was calling for them to go for it. The confidence in this young man already is outstanding, baby.
Who's the OC at Washington?
It was it's Dan Quinn calls the plays.
For the offense.
Yeah,
He's a defensive
but
guy.
he had the play thing. I don't know if it's because he's just the head coach, but he had the play sheet in front of him at
Let
that
me
time.
Google it. Yeah, but they do that. Cliff Kingsbury, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is.
Yes, that's right. Former Cardinals head coach.
Yeah, I mean,
And also was the head coach of A&M when they had a certain Money Manziel as their quarterback, wasn't he?
Yes.
so the one thing that I've got, Jane Daniels has got over Shane Lamar here, because they are the
Right.
closest comparants. I think he's got a bit more pocket presence than Lamar.
I was going to say
Hello.
Heisman. I was going to say a Heisman, but then I remembered Lamar's also won a Heisman.
No,
Yes.
I just think I don't think Lamar would have taken that hit for that throw for Tosco. He would have tried and run out and scramble out of it.
Yeah, he
Jane
was.
Daniels stood there and took it, and fair play to him, because he could have literally checked down, thrown away, and got the flag, the late hit on the quarterback. But no, he stood there, took it. It was literally, I think it was about 0.1 of a second, and he was levered by I think it was the defensive back coming in. It was really good play as well, because obviously you've got the 7 front of the 7 blockers, and you had 8 coming for him. There's always going to be a man through. He knew he was going to get hit no matter what. And that is proper top quarterback play. Top quarterback. I was really impressed with that one as well. Anything else that you guys want to mention about this before we go on to plays on players?
Nope.
Cool.
Just wanna, yeah, I mean, no, go on.
Go on then. Yeah, go for it, mate. Go.
So I was just going to mention that, like, I didn't get much of a chance to talk about Josh Allen. He's been low-key MVP of the season. I know it's only been 3 games in, but he's been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
I don't think there's anything low-key about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that it's been, like I said, 3 games in it, it could all fall apart for him after this. And he'll just be a flash in the pan. But everyone knows how good he is. And the best thing is, nobody saw this coming with us all saying, who's his WR1? And he doesn't really care about that. He's spreading the ball around to his different tight ends, his different wide receivers. And I think they're going to be a tough matchup for the Ravens on Monday night. And I hate to say it, I think we're going to be 1-3.
The issue with this is he needs to prove to me that he can do it in the big games and, more importantly, the playoffs before I can call him an elite quarterback.
Well, Monday's a big game. We shall see.
Yeah, but I'm talking about games in January.
Yeah.
Right. Let's roll on to player of the weeks. Let's roll them.
Well, you're going to watch. He's just going to come in here, you're going to clear a little bit, and then Gibbs is going to come from the middle of the line of scrimmage. So here's the under route. Just flip it over to Gibbs, who's running across the formation. And this is just beautifully executed. There you see he released out of the B gap on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. And
Stafford. A pass for Williams. Oh! Somersaults in to the end zone to get Los Angeles on the board.
And you just don't have to worry about it. Here it comes.
And it's loose. And Dallas has it. Oh, look like that. 2-possession game. Cowboys get the onside kick. C.J. Goodwin. This one's not.
First
First down and 10. Play action. Williams was looking deep. Lost the football. Knocked away by Latu. And there's a fight for it. The Colts have it.
Lawrence on the move. Launching down the middle. Intercepted. Overthrew the man in Damar Hamlin. A huge roar as one of the most popular, inspiring Bills comes up with the takeaway.
So there are four members of a podcast, but there were 5 plays.
Yeah, and I didn't realise the
wonder
49ers played the Lions the weekend.
Yeah, I also didn't realize it was week 18.
Yeah, I know. I kind of noticed. I go, didn't edit that bit. Right. The reason I put Damar Hamlin in because A, it was his first ever interception, and B, that guy died 18 months ago.
The one thing I would like to
2
say
years
about that is I think the refs did very well recognizing the situation and not flagging for excessive celebration because they really could have done.
Yeah, the No Fun League.
Anybody else, they would have.
But
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't for him because,
I mean-
as Ollie said, that guy died.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget that Damar Hamlin also gave Tua his concussion. That's why Tua's out. just to make people aware of that as well. He died, but God wanted Tua.
Right. I'm gonna go with Mr. Perrins first. Former defensive end himself in Britball. Talk us through that Latua force fumble.
Now, when we do like plays of the week, right, and we often go for like the really, really great offensive kind of like plays, and rightfully so. But every now and then, when a defensive player makes the right play and it just shifts momentum, I think that's just as effective as a deep bomb or a 50-yard run. And what Latu did is like he managed to get some pressure onto the rookie and underperforming Kalen Williams. He's already shaky in that pocket anyway, and he was shaky all that game. And that particular play solidified Indianapolis winning that game.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a great move just to put the pressure on the quarterback. Bear in mind, this is a Bears team that did invest quite well in that offensive line to keep Caleb Williams kind of safe. To try and give him those advantages, and the fact that he's not been able to get any kind of pass protection whatsoever, and just to watch that play from Latu, it was great. It was a great play, and I love watching that play do.
Shane, I know why your play angered a couple of players on this, or a couple of hosts on this show, didn't it?
But we can't pick our own teams because we're biased.
I didn't pick my own team. I picked your own team. I mean, it wasn't done to anger anybody on the show. I can't believe you don't know why I picked it. I mean, you've got Kyren Williams. Thank you. Should Kyren Williams channeling his inner Rey Mysterio with that somersault looks so cool, right? And the fact that it sparked the Rams fight back against the best team in football, the almighty San Francisco 49ers.
Why are you doing your Vince McMahon impression? Why are you doing your Vince McMahon?
It would look cooler if he landed it.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's still badass though. I mean, like he was coming one-on-one with that defensive back, and he could have tackled him. Sorry?
It was a Fanga.
It's a Fanga.
Sorry, yeah. And he came one-on-one with Hufanga, and he basically just went over his head. He could have got tackled there, and that could have been it. But no, to have that wherewithal within that split second to think, I'm trying this, and it worked. Brilliant.
He also could have jumped. He didn't need to do a somersault.
Oh, yeah. Sort of J.K. Dobbins the other week. Sort of numerous people that go flying into the end zone with nobody in front of him. The point I'm making about this is the fact that he saw Hufanga in front of him, and instead of going around or just hurdling him, he went for the spectacular and pulled it off. It looked phenomenal in my eyes.
Definitely. Baby Hope got his own back.
No. The reason I picked on sidekick, it has nothing. If it had been Washington versus Bengals, I'd still have picked it because the NFL are trying to make it harder and harder for onside kicks to actually work.
Yeah.
And every time they do work, they kind of look cool. And there were no other plays that stood out to me apart from the Jauan Jennings catch, which I was allowed to pick. So I went with that.
Mm.
And also, the fact that neither of you two picked that John Jennings catch is kind of criminal because it was Odell Beckham-esque.
I didn't see it.
There we go.
I didn't see it.
I mean, the first play I turned onto the telly and saw was that Lions play. I mean, it's something different. It's gone viral over the internet because it doesn't get done very often in the league. That little trickery there, the hook and ladder is called. I mean, it was brilliantly executed. When you got someone like Gibbs who is explosive, and you got, say Brown is explosive, and they both get involved in this, it's something else, and it's kickstarted that Lions team again. I think it's what they needed to get going again. I just thought it was super cool. I really thought it was a cool play.
I agree with you.
Players of the week time. Let's start with Andy Dalton's selection, Mr. P.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle himself. Now, I'm not master. Hold on. I'm just going to get his stats up because I'm an absolute scab, and I didn't actually put this on. Even though I knew I was going to talk about Andy Dalton, didn't actually get his stats up. Where are you, Panthers? All right, so his stats, bearing in mind he is nearly 40, 50, he's nearly on death's door. And
he's only been in the league 34 years, man. He's 38.
Yeah. So I didn't even click on the right bloody link, man. Anyway, he was the reason for why the Panthers look absolutely explosive. Now, I will always back the Las Vegas Raiders. I will always back the silver and black attack. But in this game in particular, Andy Dalton threw 26 completions on 37 attempts, 319 yards. He averaged 8.6 yards per pass, 3 touchdowns, with a QBR rating of 87.1 and a rating of 123.6. He was the highest. I think he was the highest rated quarterback this weekend. He looked phenomenal. I know they did a similar thing last year where they benched Bryce Young and brought him in, and we talked about it on Monday, but he looked amazing. He looked assured. He looked like a professional quarterback should be. Now, we don't want him to fall into that kind of journeyman kind of mantra like Phillip Rivers or Cutler or Fitzmagic, but it's proved that.
Too late for that.
But it is proved, he is proven at this present time that he's still got what it takes. I mean, he was phenomenal. I've always been kind of side-eyeing every time Hendo would mention that Andy Dalton's a future Hall of Famer. But, I mean, that was almost like a Hall of Fame performance the weekend.
He was the only quarterback that threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely is. Mr. Harris, you're up next, my friend. I'm trying to remember.
Yes. I know exactly who I had. San Francisco 49ers cast off.
Yes. Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sam motherfucking Darnold. Honestly, right?
You've broken it.
Oh, I broke. Oh, come on. It was a minute, right? What's in the Kool-Aid in Minnesota at the minute? What's in the water? Perhaps Jack can tell us, what is going on? They're hammering teams and they're making them look really good with their second-string quarterback. They beat the heir apparent to the AFC Houston Texans 34 points to 7 and made them look ordinary. But yeah, Sam Darnold 17 for 28. 181 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. And boys, do you know the absolute best thing about this? In 9 days, I want to say, we're going to see him in the flesh.
Well, some of us are. Some of us are.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm not going to mention that online. That's why I had strong words offline, so I didn't have to talk about it online.
She smothered you with a mask.
Do I need a beep button? Beep, beep.
Yeah. Just mute me every time I talk about my sister.
Second in the voting was King Henry, Baby Hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, It's surprising that a running back not named Lamar Jackson actually did something in Baltimore.
Oh, me.
But Derrick Henry, King Henry, had a hell of a game. What was it? 225 carries, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, like I said, the main running back is Lamar Jackson. But, I mean, Dak Prescott was the only quarterback playing in that game. But Derrick
Still
Henry
won.
compliments him very well. Yeah, and now you're 1-2 round of applause. I mean, so
Still one, which more we can say for you.
Hey, we're all 1-2. Don't worry about it. We're all
Oh,
1-2.
don't worry. Don't worry. By Monday morning, that will have changed.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
2-2, and they'll be 1-4.
Patrick,
No. First off, they're playing Monday night, so they'll still be 1-2.
Oh yeah, true.
No. Sunday night.
And you'll be 1-3, isn't? I thought it was Monday night.
1:20 in the morning, Sunday night, Monday morning. Trust me, I know all about this. I'm agonising whether to stay up or not.
In that case, we'll have a 1-3 Patriots, a 1-3 Ravens, and a 2-2 Niners, and we're going to go on. We're going to go and finish 15-2.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm going to clip that, and that's going out, my friend. Right.
I did say not straight after,
Well, no, you were injuries you want.
but I
It's
mean,
so good. I've got this
I mean-
great tool that edit things, so no one will ever know that you said not.
I mean, Jack just said 3-0 for the best team in purple. Shane.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll give that to you, but you've played some really attractive football. We haven't.
Yeah,
But
right.
hopefully we'll be seeing a 4-0 Vikings next week.
Oh,
I
God,
know,
yeah.
mine's supposed to have something to say about that.
And a 3-1 Jets.
What was I going to say? Ollie, do you think that 10 points is fair for the Niners to be favoured? Because I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's that big of a gap.
No, it's about a 3-point swing.
I'd say 6, but
Right, my player of the week, who won the player of the week votes with 50% of the votes. It is, we've already talked about him tonight. It's the rookie sensation, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he was superb. 21 from 23, 254 yards, couple of touchdowns, ran one in as well, including a 7-yard touchdown run. QBR rating of 93, passer rating 141.7. He's now leading. He's top rookie of past yards passed in the first 3 games. He is outstanding.
do you guys
Yes.
remember when we used to do Rookie of the Week as well as Player of the Week?
No, that wasn't. They weren't on the show at that time. That was Tom.
Oh, was that with Tom?
Yeah, I think at the moment he'd probably win it every week at the moment.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I think Malik Neighbours was giving him a run for the money.
Oh God, he was so good. He
And
was
Latu had a game of the weekend too.
Yep.
right. Let's roll on to news of the week.
This is the news in 60.
I mean,
Um,
just ignoring Shane's hand up.
Sorry, Shane.
Just want to say, but we all love your beautiful face. Do you want to show us a bit more of it? Because all we can see is you're like Batman at the minute. The bottom of your mouth's covered up.
Who? Oh, Phil.
You was, yeah. See, that's better. There you go.
Right. I'm going to rename news of the week of injuries in 60. it's getting ridiculous at the moment.
You know, when you do the injuries, right? Can we put like the funeral march theme underneath, like dun 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 dun
Star
dun?
Wars.
No, Star Wars is dun 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 dun.
Right. So the players added to IR this week are Falcons center Drew Dolman with an ankle injury, Raiders safety Marcus Epps ACL injury, Lions defensive end Marcus Davenport with an elbow injury, 49ers linebacker,
Middle back.
Defensive tackle.
defensive tackle, torn tricep. Bengals Trent Brown, torn patella tendon, and oh my god, does that hurt? Panthers Adam Thielen scored a touchdown, ruptured hamstring. That's it.
Did you ask for the touchdown? Or did he do that celebrating? Because I really hope it was celebrating.
No, he when he scored.
Either way, Lions center Frank Ragnour has torn his pec, still might play. Denver Broncos linebacker Alex Singletary tore his ACL in the first quarter and finished the game and led the team in tackles.
Sounds like Triple H in 2001.
That is outstanding. A couple of boys to the right, to the left of me. They're superstar running back Christian McCaffrey is phoned to Germany for treatment. I think he may be out for longer than 4 weeks, gentlemen.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? I've heard.
Madden curse.
They're expecting. I think they're saying week 7, maybe week 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I'd save him for the bye week.
And finally,
I mean,
Hall of Fame Super Bowl champion quarterback Brett Favre has been diagnosed with Parkinson, as he announced on his social media this week. That is a horrible, horrible disease.
Mr. Perrins.
Is that his defense for stealing all that money from the charity that he was a part of, or is it alleged money that he stole from those people that needed it? I just needed to know. Just needed to know.
But obviously, this is a brain injury.
I mean, this is just another case for, maybe concussions should be taken seriously.
Yeah. I think you're right. I generally do think you're right. I mean, it would, if Tua in 10, 15 years' time comes out saying, right, I've got Parkinson's or I've got dementia or anything like that, it's something to be looked at, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think Tua will be walking in 10 to 15 years' time. I think he'll be wheeled out like he's Davros from Doctor Who, like the way that he's going.
Look at AB for an example. I mean, we always talk about that hit by Vontaze Burfict on him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was the same after.
Mm.
Definitely not. I mean, in our football, our soccer, up to under 13s, you're not allowed to head the ball because they've done all the research and saying, right, players back in XYZ time, they've now got dementia and other brain-related injuries from heading the ball. But it's the same with our stuff now in the American football. Technology has evolved and footballs are a lot lighter and they seriously don't hurt.
What happens if you do head the ball? Is it a free kick to the other team?
Free kick, yeah. Indirect free kick if it's in the box as well, outside the area. But it's now looking like, okay, let's take this seriously now. Okay, right. I know we spoke about it last week when Tua went down injured, but it's something that is going to keep coming up until something is done to it by the NFL. And I think they're going to start looking at it going, shit, this is getting quite serious. Sorry.
I think in a couple of weeks, also you just swore, which, and I think in a couple of years' time, it'll be you have to wear the Guardian caps.
Yeah. I think you're right. Right.
But the thing is, that's still not going to totally get rid of concussions.
No. You are going to get, because it's concussions and whiplash is not only it's the hip, but it's how your head reacts to it, as in the angle it goes back, if it snaps back, things like that. It's not always the hit that does it.
Yeah.
So it may be a case they have to start wearing neck guards as well and all that to hold it in. But anyway, injuries are part and parcel of this game. And there I know we said that as well, there's more. But the more so in the NFL is always next man up.
You always say there are more injuries this year than every other year.
Yeah, because it always seems like there is more injuries. But it's always, motto is always next man up. And you're going to find these guys who've stepped in to cover someone who's a first teamer and like
JP Mason
pulled out.
Laura has said, wait to stole money. I'm assuming that's to do with Brett Favre.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to go Google that one. We're not going to go any more down into that one because I don't really want to lawsuit.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Finally. Let's roll on to predictions. So it's not actually finally, it's prediction. So it's picked by Mr. Harris. We're going to go through the prediction game first.
Laura meant who stole money. Allegedly, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So this week's games from week 4 games were chosen by the Welsh Wizard down in the bottom right-hand corner down there.
Hello.
Would you like to talk us through your games and why you selected them, and then we'll choose our picks?
Yes, I certainly can if I can find them. Give me 2 seconds.
All on the bottom of the screen, mate.
Oh, you think I can see that? My eyes are terrible. Wait a minute.
So you've got Panthers Bengals.
Thank you. Oh, I got it. Sorry, I got it. And yeah, so I've gone with the resurgent Red Rifle-led Carolina Panthers against the Joe Burrow and his freezing cold Bengals.
Dalton revenge game.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, 100% Dalton revenge game. Then you've got the derby. Then the Packers and Vikings, which will be a hell of a game. That's Sky's 6 o'clock game this week as well, I believe. And then I just had to do it. I had to do it. The epic clash this week of Jared Mayo and the Pats against Shanahan and the Niners. That's going to cause warfare on the show on Monday, and I, for one, can't wait. And then the Falcons, who have been a little bit hit and miss so far, against the Saints, who surprised everyone. So yeah, that's my 4 prediction games for this week. Where do you want to start, OBH? Take the reins back.
So there is always a rule on this show. If the host teams play against each other, it's always a prediction game. We always choose the international games as well as a rule of thumb. So let's start off with the clash of the hosts, I think, and let's go with Baby Hope, as you are leading the leaderboard, my friend. No, you're not. Yes, you are.
Can I ask a question? Last year, when I was last, I started, and now I'm first. Why am I starting again?
Because.
But even with our injuries,
my game, my rules.
Even with our injuries, Kittle's back. Purdy's been practicing all week, so I don't know. We're 10 points favourites for a reason. The Patriots are just going to be like a little fly that we can swat away and leave out. Niners by 2 scores at minimum.
I'm going to let Perrins go first, and then I'm going to argue.
Niners by 17.
Ooh.
Right. I can't argue with you.
Literally, my rebuttal to your argument was going to be go and watch Thursday night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Hart says Patriots all day long. Head say, Niners are the stronger team at the moment. They're further along the rebuild than we are. Okay, yes, you've got a couple of big injuries out. Whether they're in full practice or not, they're still not going to be 100%. They're still probably better than the majority of our team. We've got a couple of big injuries on our defensive side of the ball, Barmore, Bentley, and it's stifling. But I am going to go with my heart rule, and I'm going to go a Pats win.
Laura's telling us to play nicely.
So have you watched this show before? Have you watched this show before?
Harris.
Wellity. I think, OBH, I have to side with the Pats, mainly because I would love them to spring a surprise. I really would. And the Predictions League, I'm so far back, I'm pretty much back in Narnia. So I might as well check some random picks out and see what happens. So yeah, I'll go with the Pats.
Yeah, the table is currently Baby Hope with 9, myself and Perrin with 6, and Shane's with 5. Out of the 12 that we've selected so far. Right. Next game, let's go with Panthers and the Bengals and Baby Hope.
Who's at home here? Carolina at home. I still think Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to have too much for them, to be honest. I think Andy Dalton's had his one good game of the season, and I just think it's going to be back to normal service resumed. I mean, he's lost Adam Thielen, who's one of his best receivers.
Yeah.
The Bengals looked good on Monday night. Best they've played this season. I think they're going to take another step forward and actually win a game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Everything you say, I do. It's going to be it's going to be a Washington Bengals game, but I think it's going to be a flip reverse. Obviously, not going to be as perfect non-punt, non-reception, but it's going to be a bloody good game. But yeah, Bengals win. Parents?
Dalton against the guy they drafted to replace him. Ooh. I agree. Dalton had his time in the sun, quite literally, he's ginger. And I think, and I do think Joe Burrow's. I mean, the Bengals aren't going to go 0-4, are they? Like they just can't.
Are they?
And
I'd like if they did.
pound for pound, they have the better roster than Carolina. I do think the Carolina Panthers picking up the dub against the Raiders was a highlight of what I think will be a very, very miserable season for them. I'm going to go Cincinnati.
Mr. Harris.
Boys, I'd love to disagree. I mean, maybe Andy Dalton is this season's Joe Flacco. You know, comes off his couch, plays really well, drags his team to a couple of wins. But I don't think he's doing it this week. And like you all said, boys, the Bengals played well. They just couldn't get the job done. They couldn't get the Duke in the final stages. But I think Cincinnati have got too much firepower, too much all over the field. Really, I'm surprised they are where they are right now. But I think they do a win. I've got to go Bengals.
Yeah.
Cool. Game number 3 is the NFC North matchup of the Vikings and the Packers, or Packers-Vikings.
So am I going first again?
Yes, mate. Of course you are. You're leading it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, last season it was the person that was last was going first. But I know it's a Lambeau Field. And I know eventually Sam Darnold is going to start playing like Patrick Mahomes. However, against a not that good Packers team, if we're being honest, I'm sorry, I'm not on this Packers hype train. And Jordan Love, who's not going to be 100%, like 3 weeks after stroke. What did he do? Did he sprain his MCL?
He's got a grade 2 MCL sprain, which is as bad as you can get near enough.
Yeah. And apparently he's back this week. I think the Vikings are going to take it and go to London 4-0.
Yeah. Mr. P.
Vikings, exactly the same that Baby's just said. Exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm very anti Malik Willis, as you know. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I put him in that range as Tua. And I think even if he was fit, I still think the Vikings was taking the score. There's something about that Green Bay that, yes, they're going to get to the playoffs because they are a playoff team just about. But I don't think they're good enough to knock the Vikings off the perch as of yet. Go on, Shano. Over to you, mate.
I mean, it's hard for any team to walk into Lambeau and come out with a win. But as you said, without Jordan Love, they're a little bit, and I think they're lacking identity. You know, they've got Malik Willis, where they've basically had to pinch from the Titans as a second stringer, just in case anything happened to Jordan Love, and it did. And I don't think he's a starter in this league. I really don't. And I have no idea, again, what's going on in Minnesota, but Sam Darnold is leading the charge for the Vikings, and I think they're going to be in London as well, with ourselves, no less, at 4-0.
God, you guys are boring.
I know.
Jack said we're going to make Lambeau purple. I mean, I know I'm 3 ahead, but you don't need to cock me on every pick.
Right, let's
Sensible
go
picks.
with Falcon Saint.
Okay. So, I started this season saying that I thought Falcons were the dark horse for the Super Bowl.
You did.
They came out in week 1 and lost to the Steelers.
They did.
And Kirk Cousins didn't look great. They came out week 2 and they won. I can't remember who they were playing, but they won.
Philadelphia.
And and then last week they lost to the referees because apparently pass interference doesn't apply to Kansas City.
It's true, it doesn't.
That's obvious. We know that's obvious.
Yeah, carry on.
The Saints started off and went off like a bullet train.
Yep.
However, last week they were shocking. So I'm going to go Falcons.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, they're at home. I fancy him.
I am going to. I think I'm going to disagree with you. One reason I think it's going to be New Orleans is Kirk Cousins hasn't looked comfortable yet. He's got Drake Young. Yes, he's got Bryce Bijan Robinson. Literally did out one of the best blocks I've ever seen in the league against. Can't remember who they played last week now, but it literally put the guy on the flat in his ass. But I do think last week was a blip, and there's something about that New Orleans Saints at the moment. They just got something there, and it's something different. And last week was just teams cancelling each other out, and I'm going to go for a New Orleans win.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said last week that I can't trust Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, and I still can't trust Derek Allen, Derek Carr, and Dennis Allen. So,
Mr. P,
I'm gonna agree with you. I don't think Atlanta are there. I think in a one-off game, looking at form, how the Saints lost last week, I think they're going to want to come back with a vengeance. Yes, the Falcons did all right against the Chiefs, but they haven't looked great all year. So I'm going to go with the Saints.
And Mr. Harris.
Yeah, boys, I got to go with the Saints as well. I think they've come into the season as a surprise package. No one thought they would do as well as they are. Alvin Kamara didn't score last week. Trust me, my wallet knows all about that. But
so does mine.
Unbelievable. We can gambling. We can roll on to that fairly shortly. But I think, as you said, Kirk doesn't look comfortable yet, and they're not even going to try play Penix at the minute because he's probably not up to snuff as it is, being a first year rookie. I think I'm going to go with Saints, and I think they're going to be. I think Rashid Shaheed's going to be on the board as well.
So last week, you all picked the Saints, I picked the Eagles, and the Eagles win. Could Lightning twice?
No.
Yeah, you need to land twice. Right. Let's roll on to the rest of the week 4 games. It's starting with NFC East matchup again. And why do they always put this game on prime time? Every time this game is on MetLife,
because it's a massive rivalry. It's a massive rivalry.
Yeah.
And it's always a shocking game. Ever since OC and Romo and Eli have left, it's never been anywhere near as good. Ever since the Odell Beckham catch, it has not been that kind of game again.
I think it's going to be a good game tonight.
I reckon. I'll tell you what. This could have been a prediction game because I reckon New York are actually going to wipe the floor with Dallas.
I think Dallas is going to win, but I think it's going to be close.
But with a different quarterback, New York would be a way different team. I don't trust Danny Dimes. Don't trust him at all. I think he's awful. But then Malik Neighbors showed what he was capable of on Sunday. I thought he played really well. And they got Brian Burns. They got Thibodeau. I think they got a really strong defense as well. It's just I don't trust Danny Dimes.
Dexter Lawrence too. But
exactly.
The thing is,
as they call him.
You can make that case with any team. They'd have a different quarterback. They'd be a totally different team.
Christ, you want my case tonight, boy? You know.
Can I talk about the Rams game? Can I talk about the Rams game for a second?
The Rams,
The Rams go into Chicago, and the bookies are making Chicago favourite.
I think it's because of all the injuries that's happening in LA. I generally do think it's that.
Tell them to go and watch last week's game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the pass rush in LA is going to have a field day against that Chicago O-line. Because that Chicago O-line's got more turnstiles than bloody London Underground.
Chicago doesn't have an O-line.
Yeah, they have no paper.
They don't even have that.
Yeah,
they have a slightly gentle breeze.
Mr. P, what are you talking about, mate? Silence.
Nothing apparently.
This is where you speak, boy. This is where you speak.
I can't tell. He's frozen.
What?
What are you talking about, Mr. P?
Which game are you looking at this week as being interesting?
So, hold on. God damn it. I'm looking at.
Am I the only one that can make it through an episode without swearing?
No.
No. Cowboys Giants is always juicy in the NFC North.
The NFC North.
East. Sorry, Nice. What about
You got
Broncos?
Nice on your brains.
Broncos Jets,
Old versus
where Aaron
new
Rodgers could have ended up versus where Aaron Rodgers is ending up.
Yeah, that was the whole reason they appointed Nathaniel Hackett, wasn't it, to try and get Rodgers to go there.
Do we think that the Texans are going to run over the Jacksonville Jaguars?
They
Yes.
should do. Sorry, Baldy. Sorry, big fella. They should do, though.
Especially with Mixon back.
And I mean, obviously, Raiders Browns is the two biggest losers. Chargers Chiefs. I mean, the Chargers look to be slowly getting momentum under Jim Harbaugh. Maybe they could get the Chiefs their first loss.
Without Herbert?
And without
Yeah.
tackle. No, right tackle.
Oh, and we've got like lots of Monday night games as well. Why do they just do it normally?
What are they doing now?
Right,
Two games on Monday again.
Why?
I know.
Hate it.
Money, I expect. I just want to pay special attention to, as Phil mentioned, the biggest loser game of the Browns rolling in to Vegas to take on Minshew Mania and the Raiders. That's going to be a fairly interesting game, I think, because obviously you've got the Raiders who beat the Ravens, and that is a big scalp for anyone, let's be fair. And the Browns then, who have also got that defense. But Myles Garrett will be out. So, you've got the definition of hot and cold, Deshaun Watson. That's going to be an interesting game to watch. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one.
I do think, though. I mean, I do think. Yeah, almost like pound for pound. I do think the Raiders have a better roster than the Browns, and this is me taking off my rose-tinted Raider glasses here for a second. I mean, we all universally despise Deshaun Watson, while we all universally love Gardner Minshew.
I don't love Gardner Minshew. I just like to be clear.
Oh, brother!
Why?
Because he's a god.
He doesn't love him. He's infatuated with him.
He is a bad quarterback.
A bad quarterback. He is not a bad quarterback. Anyway,
Brock Purdy sleeps in Gardner Minshew pajamas.
I actually can't wait for Raider Week this year in the NFL when the 49ers have their bye week. I can't wait for Raider Week. It's going to be brilliant.
Why don't you just go and be a Raiders fan? Because we all know you are, really.
No, I love the Raiders, but I love the 49ers more.
We all know you sleep in like Raiders pajamas and Raiders bedding.
He doesn't actually have sleeps.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, Shano's seen my jersey collection first. Like, he's actually touched my jersey collection. And it's predominantly 49.
With
more than anyone else can say on this podcast.
Was it with a lighter?
Oh, look at you. Sitting quite safely all the way over there.
Yeah, I can say that 97 miles away from you.
I was gonna say.
I mean, it's
he's a lot taller than me as well.
It's a bit creepy that you know it's 97.
Because I Google mapped it to Tottenham today, so I know roughly how far it is to him because he's the other way to Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, he also knows where I live because we've all got each other's addresses. So
yeah.
I'll stay in our house twice.
I just think it's a bit creepy that he knows like to the mile.
To the gap, yeah, to how much the petrol is down here as well. I actually can't wait until we do our Christmas Secret Santa again. That's going to be so much fun.
I know I'm getting you. If I get you exactly what I'm getting you, I know exactly what I'm getting you.
I know exactly what I'm getting all of you. Like,
are you getting another Tebow jersey?
No, I mean, I'll get it in white this time. No, if I get Hendo, it won't be Tebow related. I'm going to get him something that he's not going to get upset about and one that he will wear because he actually wants to wear it.
Tebow one,
because I've only ever seen you wear your Tebow jersey once, and that was when you put it on when you opened it on Christmas.
Laura says she loves the banter.
Well, like I said, you can come back next week if you want. It's like this every week.
Right,
And
Shane,
on Monday.
Yes.
how many points are you going to lose by?
Why are we saying why? A lot. I think Josh Allen's going to carve us up, and oh god, it's going to hurt. We're going to work on 2 hours sleep. It's going to hurt.
I think 21-17 Bills.
You were 17 points. Thank you.
The problem is Buffalo have got a bloody good run defense, and that's your game stuffed.
I know.
Lamar's going to have to throw the ball.
I know.
I say this every week the Ravens lose, which is the way to beat them is to make Lamar have to throw it to win.
Yeah, and that's the problem. You know, I don't trust Lamar as a throwing quarterback.
I
More
genuinely
I do
think
Purdy
Lamar,
running 100 yards a game.
I genuinely think Lamar's been found out now.
Yeah, that's the problem. You'll just get the linebackers, you know, going into it. You'll get a lot of
you'll
pressure.
just have like QB spy every play.
Yeah, and you know, no matter what you say, Sean McDermott is a good defensive head coach.
A bit like me on college football, the game. You know,
Are you the
blitz
you the quarterback spy? Or are you in the linebacker court?
No, I'm blitz every play. The thing is, they rush so often that I just call engage 8 like 8 times a game.
Yeah,
And just swallow up their running back because literally the CPU is like run first play, run second play, and then start passing.
And that gaming tip was brought to you by Games Master.
right.
Brought to you by Verizon.
So Jack just said the Ravens are going to be like Bolton against Arsenal.
What? Fold like a house of cards?
Cheers, Jack. But you didn't actually watch the game last night because you told me you didn't.
I mean,
so you don't
Seagull
know.
didn't have anything to do.
Have my segment now, please, instead of us just talking stuff about my team.
No.
Thank you, at last.
Well, Arsenal.
What? No, what? No. Yeah, I got the 3. Yeah, so welcome once again to Shano's Specials, my little betting segment on the show. Please gamble responsibly, as always. Or, you know, with the luckiest person I've ever met in my whole entire life, Baby Hope, also knows a thing or two about gambling. Honest to God, the man doesn't need a full-time job. He's rolling in those notes. Anyway,
Jack just said I watched it after Liverpool.
To mention that word on his podcast, thank you very much. So, yeah, I'm going to go with, and they've got a market. Paddy Power have a market for tonight. We mentioning the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys to score any points in all 4 quarters is 2-1. What do you think about that, baby? What do you reckon?
Awful value.
What?
I'd want 4-1 minimum for that.
Yeah, say that's 2-1. But what I'm saying is, do you think they'll score points in every quarter? Brendan Aubrey is kicking field goals for fun and long field goals too.
Yeah, but I don't
Hasn't
think
he tied the record now?
Yeah, I think it's hard to envision them scoring points every quarter, and I don't think 2-1 is a good enough bet for that.
No.
I'd want 4-1 minimum for something like that. I wouldn't go near it.
I just thought it was interesting, the fact that, you know, they reckon that they put that up as one of their turbo prices. So that's interesting. So yeah, I'm going to go with that, and also as well, because I must love chucking money away. I'm going to go for the Pats to beat the Niners at 4-1. That's interesting. OBH, what do you think about that one?
Short logs, odds are too long, mate.
I have to admit, I think if you want to go handicap betting, I think plus 10 is a bit. I think the spread is a bit high there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
gonna say,
that probably cover the spread. And I know over under 39.5 for that. I'd say probably over for that. Laura said I'd say Dallas 4-1.
Ooh, okay, Dallas 4-1. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. So the next one, I'm going to go with a segment within a segment. I'm going to go with what I call Minshew Watch. Every week, I'm going to try and find the best price for Gardner Minshew to score a touchdown at any time. So at the minute, right, Paddy Power again against the Cleveland Browns. Minshew Mania brother to run wild and cross the plate and score a touchdown is 8-1. Mr. P, what do you reckon that one?
I think that's a great odds, to be fair. I fancy Minshew Mania to score most days, to be fair.
Oh, brother.
He's literally slaying it in Vegas every day. And I'm not just talking about those touchdowns, brother. He is, yeah, I think that was a great odds. And, yeah, I think he's going to have a really good game against the Browns. I think now's the time. I wouldn't be surprised that he scores so much that they take him out and put O'Connell in.
Thank you very much, man.
Shane, could I just quickly talk about a boost for tonight that I think is decent value?
Yes, go for it.
So Malik Neighbors to score a touchdown is 13-8, boosted from
Nice.
Ooh, that's £8 on £13 back. So you're looking at, what's that, £21 back off £8?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's getting towards 2 to 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see Malik Neighbours. I did see one. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find a Malik Neighbours to have over 10 receptions or something like 7 to 1 or something stupid like that. I was like, yeah, that'd be bloody good odds.
Yeah. The other boost for tonight's game is CeeDee Lamb to have over 70 yards and to score a touchdown, and that is 7 to 4.
Yeah, but he's got to be able to
He's
catch
on
the
like
ball.
that.
He's not done that this
Yeah,
season.
he's not playing well at the minute. I got to be honest, not playing well at the minute.
So-
I had him in my touchdown on the weekend.
What I don't understand is Malik Neighbours to score a touchdown is 13 to 8. CeeDee Lamb to get 70 yards and score a touchdown is effectively 14 to 8. So
Doesn't make sense, does it?
Mm.
A bit strange, that one. Right. As always, it's we finish with Shano, as always, on a Thursday night. Oh my god, what day? Yeah, it is Monday. No, it's Thursday, isn't it?
It's Thursday. It's definitely
it is.
Thursday.
Right, one
I
of those
wouldn't,
weeks.
I wouldn't be this tired from Monday.
I'd be tired on Monday because the NFL on Sunday night, mate.
I'm tired on Monday. I'm not this tired. I'm not this tired on a Monday after doing 4 days of work.
Okay, right. As always, this will be able to download to listen for your listen devices tomorrow morning at 8:30. You can get it from anywhere where you get your podcasts, or most of the places where you can get your podcasts, as I've been delightfully informed. There are a couple of places they can't find it, which I'm trying to rectify. But we will be back on your screens 8:30 Monday night. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, good night and stay safe.